The College Basketball Experience Elite 8 Reaction Show episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 different states. Head to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pickup for a chance to win 100 times the amount of money you enter in college basketball, NBA, MLB, NHL, and much, much more. Sign up today using the promo code TCE SGPN to get a 100% deposit match. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Yes, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, folks, this is Bud Foster. You're listening to SGPN. Let's let it ride.
Yes. Woo-wee. Welcome to the College Basketball Experience. Elite 8 Reaction Show. We are headed to Phoenix, Arizona. YouTube.com/the College Experience. Get on over there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Happy Easter. Or happy Sunday or happy fucking life. I don't know. I mean, today was awesome. Yesterday was awesome. Just watching games, betting the hell out of everything. Hoops, MLB, Frozen 4, college baseball, UFL. Fuck. I should ditch this show right now and just do the UFL podcast because goddamn it, I went fucking undefeated on my picks. I'm a fucking savant at these spring football leagues. All right. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, because we got to talk about it. They're going to get their flowers. Don't worry. I'm not going to duck. I've been riding the pussy pack all of a sudden. And let me tell you, how are you, pussy pack? Look, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, AKA Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Oh, boy. I mean, we had 30-0 runs, 30-0 run in the Elite 8. That hasn't happened since fucking Augment and Larry Johnson. Maybe even before that. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former video coordinator for Hall of Fame coach Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, host of the Big 12 College Experience, host of the Ryan and Rush Show. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Money Line Mac. How you doing, man?
Then there were four. A shout out to the Pussy Pack.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
Oh, I did have a large wager on NC State plus the points, and I also had a decently sized wager on NC State money line. And look, it takes the entire Pussy Pack to bring down the king of Pussy Pack Nation, Kyle Filipowski, and it happened. This NC State team's making me eat shit nonstop. But a lot of people were talking shit to me. I have you know, I was on NC State the last game too, and on the money line. So all of a sudden, NC State is basically giving me a lot of money in my bank account. So you're evil. Your nemesis is getting rich off of your university. But what a fucking win. What a fucking win. And yeah, get this Duke bullshit out of here. Bunch of fucking. I watched that game. Filipowski complaining to the goddamn refs every 30 seconds. It's great to see them get their ass whooped. Just great. It was great. Your thoughts on NC State 76, Duke 64, and Mac. I should bring up the fact that, and I found this nugget to be quite amazing. You're not going to like it, but facts are facts. All right. If I can quickly pull this up, this is what, the 5th team in 5 years, and in 10 years, the ACC has more teams in the Final Four than the 4-team playoff with SEC football teams.
It's incredible.
They don't get the hype that I can tell you this. They sure don't get the hype the fucking SEC football does. Unbelievable. Your thoughts on the game?
I was all over the Pack in the ACC tournament. Then I hopped off them against Texas Tech and Oakland and Marquette, but I came back around, said this team's undeniable. I mean, we had Louisville. We sprinkled Louisville on the money line.
Dude, Virginia had them beat.
Louisville had them beat.
Yeah.
Louisville had the lead for 35 fucking minutes, and fucking Kenny Payne choked the game away. They beat Syracuse. Duke got nobody to blame but themselves, man. They had a chance to knock them out of the ACC tournament. They couldn't get it done. So now it comes full circle. And you know what's ironic? They've played him 3 times in 4 weeks. We had an episode after the first meeting, and we all said Kevin Keats had to go. NC Nick was.
They're going to build him a statue. They're going to build him a fucking statue after this.
Incredible, man! That was March 4th. It's April 1.
Hey,
life comes at you fast.
I saw Lavelle Moten. Shout out to Lavelle Moten, North Carolina Central's head coach, tweet out that he showed that missed free throw by UVA, and then the banked in 3 by NC State to get it to overtime, and he said, think about how many lives are changed on this missed free throw. You got Kevin Keats that's going to be fired. The whole team's probably going to transfer.
Yeah.
Like Virginia probably doesn't play in the play-in game then. You know what I mean? They probably get, so you just have that, but that isn't that. Look, I know it's the pussy pack and I'm supposed to just come on here and talk a bunch of shit, but they've won me a lot of money. And this is why I can even acknowledge this is why sports are awesome. This is why sports are awesome, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is an awesome run. I fucking hate NC State because they're cowards to schedule us, and they're pussies because when we have stormed their courts after beating them, they act like they're all fucking high and mighty, like they wouldn't do that shit, right? But this is an awesome run, man. Anyone that loves hoops,
it's crazy.
Can't deny it. You know what I mean? Like, this is DJ Burns is a lovable motherfucker. I would buy him a beer if he was in LA, right? What's not to like, man? I know it's NC State. I'm supposed to hate this, but when you beat Duke along the way with the all-time greatest piece of shit, Kyle Filipowski, sorry, I smile.
For what it's worth, I think you either twisted the stat to fit your college football playoff narrative, or you butchered it a little bit. NC State's the 5th ACC basketball team that reached the Final Four in the last
2019, right?
In the last 5 NCAA tournaments. No other conference has 3 Final Four appearances in that time span, let alone all of them being different teams.
And I think it's 4. I think it's 4 because we didn't have the one in 2020. Right, so it would be 19. Virginia made it. No. I'm saying 4 years, 4 tournaments.
So it's from Danny Neckel on Twitter. D Neckel 19.
But I'm saying they might not have counted that 2020 didn't have a postseason. So my point is, in 2019 we had Virginia. 2021
24, 23, 22, 21, 19. 5.
But isn't this a 23 season? Doesn't that work like that? No.
Yeah, it's 24 March, 23 March, 22
so I can't
March,
count?
21 March, 19 March.
Okay. You win. Noah and Mac 1, Dundee 0.
I mean,
I've been consuming all day.
I did too bad.
But yeah, but it's still 5. Who gives a fuck? It's still 5. No, but Noah, the thing the nugget I was trying to say, and I haven't done a deep dive on this, but that someone was tweeting out that they have had more in the past 10 years make the Final Four. More teams in the past 10 years make the Final Four, because I think Syracuse would then jump in the mix.
Syracuse is an 11 seed the 1 year.
Yeah, Syracuse would jump in the mix.
More different programs in the Final Four
in the past 10 years.
Programs in the college football playoff. Okay.
And the college football playoff is 4 for the past 10 years, so it's like it's comparing it to the Final Four. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, I'm just saying the same SEC programs got in, because there's been an SEC, at least one SEC school every year. They haven't left one out.
Well, no, but still, you would think it's you would think that Florida and Auburn or something. They haven't. It's been just Bama, LSU, Georgia, and who's the fourth? Who's the fourth?
Bama, LSU, Georgia, and
someone else, right? Is that only those 3?
In the last decade or since
the last decade? So it's a playoff since the playoff was invented. Yeah.
No, Auburn was in. They lost the
No, that was the last year with that was one of the last one. Yeah, that was BCS. Oregon lost to Ohio State.
Yeah, they did.
That's wild when you think about it. So they only had 3.
Yeah,
hilarious. But yet everyone sucks their dick nonstop on fucking television. All right, and the ACC gets no love, including on this very show.
Fuck the ACC. They got the magic in March, man. This tournament is made for the underdog, and they've had some unbelievable runs. NC State and Syracuse, like I remember that Syracuse run when they somehow beat Virginia in the Elite Eight. That was one of the more improbable runs. And fuck, Miami was improbable last year. Shit, the next year they didn't even make the tournament with the same fucking team.
What's crazy is Florida State almost got there one year.
Yes,
Florida State went to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, Miami team this year.
And Carolina, the year they made it was an 8 seed. They weren't
There's
even,
your
it wasn't
same
even
Carolina.
like this year, huh?
I was like, that Carolina team was the same team. This year's Miami team was not the same as last year's.
No, they paid the same guys. Their chemistry. They were missing Jordan Miller.
They lost Wooga and like you said,
Wong.
Yeah,
Opler was there. Sorry, it was.
And I mean,
top 10 team,
dude. But let's talk about this right now. NC State. Now, sure, this is like 83 all over again, dude. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't watched the documentary on that, I encourage you to. Despite Valvano being a coward, not scheduling ECU, I do like Jimmy V, and it's really the parallels are crazy. You know what I mean? And now you're pretty much in a Final Four spot where, granted, NC State. Yeah, it's actually similar to playing Houston in the national championship, because Houston you had Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon. Like, they should have won 4 national championships with those 2 on the fucking same team. I think Cadillac Anderson might have been even on the bench as a freshman. But anyway, you had those 2. You had those 2 on your fucking team, and they still defied the odds and somehow beat Drexler and Olajuwon. They're gonna have to do the same thing when they play Zach Edey and the Purdue refs. It's just like Drexler and Olajuwon. Edey, Purdue refs. Edey, Purdue refs. I was on Tennessee today.
Foul trouble.
I was on Tennessee today. It wasn't a large wager. It was C note, but I'm going to play a clip that I tweeted out. Hopefully it doesn't get me sued. Just want to see what you see here.
Call this a foul on Tennessee.
Wait.
Look at this. Look at this call here. Look at this call here. Watch Dalton connect there.
Top of the screen.
Edey, but watch. This is not a foul, right? Which I'm okay with the no call here. But then on the very next possession, they're going to call this a foul on Tennessee.
And it fouls him out.
This is our problem with the referees. Be fucking consistent already.
Dude, tell me I'm making a good case. Tell me I'm making a fucking good case because
I've been saying this since November, man.
I mean, to see it on back-to-back possessions and have it be so critical because it fouled out, what's his name from Tennessee? It fouled him out. I just thought, what the fuck are we doing here, man? I get it. I had money on Tennessee. You could say, well, you're looking at it with Tennessee blinders on. I did have money on Tennessee, but I still, if I didn't have money on Tennessee, I would still say, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? He also walks on you know, we can dig deeper into that, but I don't know, man. Tennessee, shout out to Purdue. It's great to see teams that are not used to making the Final Four in the Final Four, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Purdue, I saw West Lafayette all excited when Purdue returned, and that's awesome. But God damn it, I just get frustrated watching the fucking games because I'm like, you're giving them a friendly whistle. Like you're not being fair to the other side of the court. And we saw this earlier in the year on games that to me, I did not even have any money on. I understand you could say, well, you had money on Tennessee, so you're seeing it that way. But I'd like with that video, do you think that's fair? I would ask anybody, do you think that's fair that that's not called and then that's called? Because to me, one of them, I'm okay with both being not called, but one is worse than the other. And I think it's on Dalton Connect. I thought he got fouled worse than Edey. Just saying.
Yeah. My whole thing with Purdue and Matt Painter and Edey and the whistle is I understand Zach Edey's going to get calls. He's the best player in college basketball. He's 7'4". He's not a normal guy to officiate, but he does foul too. All those collisions on the rebounds that they kept calling on Tennessee, you're telling me not one of them was on Zach Edey? I mean, I saw one clip where Edey got the putback, he lays it in, it's a foul, but then you rewind it, he freaking throws the guy out of the way, no call, not one call. And honestly, the game was the exact same game as it was in November, but in November they called 4 fouls on Zach Edey. And don't give me this crap that all Tennessee did was shoot threes. They shot more threes in November than they did today. They protected Edey today. They wanted Zach Edey in the Final Four. They fucked Tennessee. Now, at the same time, I congratulate Purdue. They fell down 11. They were resilient. But, I mean, that was Rick Barnes got a fucking horrible whistle in the second half. For Purdue only to get called 12 fouls the entire game when there's a collision at every single play, it's bullshit. That's bullshit. And that's all I got to say on that. I'm sure Noah's going to say it was a great whistle.
It was fair.
You brought up, hey, you cannot mention that they shoot too many threes because they shot more threes last game than this game. They shot 30 last game and they shot 26 today. They didn't change the game plan at all.
Well, that is less.
Then why did they call fouls the first game but not today?
That group, that first game, called fouls. Today, the group, I thought, swallowed the whistle for a large part of that game.
Not on one of the most pivotal fucking points. I just showed you. What are you talking about?
The entire game. The entire game, they
Dude,
had.
I'm sorry.
A pretty even whistle, I thought.
What?
Personally, yes.
What would you say to the video I just presented? Exhibit A.
You handpicked a.
That was two straight possessions. Two straight possessions.
One sequence.
Okay, but what would you say to that? Was that fair?
No, it was miscalled, and I wouldn't have called a foul on
guy
either
out
possession.
too. That fouled a guy out.
I wouldn't have called a foul on either possession. It was ticky tack, and they were not calling those for most of the game.
So based off of the one shred of evidence we have right now, you would say slight lean to Purdue because we have one video, and I didn't fast forward.
I
fast forward, but that's the very next possession.
If I wasn't at Easter and then driving back home, I would have been able to just go back and watch that game and videotape every one of the calls that were ticky tack against Edey, and I'd be able to show it on the show too.
Well, tomorrow we go live, buddy.
Bring it. I'll do my best money line Mac on the bench. I'll put together a full film review.
See, my thing is though,
missed foul call on Edey.
My thing is
he gets hacked a shitload.
My thing is
he also hacks.
That was back-to-back possessions. So it's like, what better sample size do you get than that? Perfect scenario, back-to-back possessions.
Sample size. You have one sequence. That's not a sample size at all.
That's what I'm saying, though. Is you get one. No. My point is if,
sample size.
Hang on, let me fucking talk, jackass. Right? If
it's not a sample size though,
because it's in one play. Is my fucking point, man. It's in one. Like if you were to go clip this, you would have to find shit from the 3-minute mark, the 17-minute mark. I'm saying the same exact situation happened on one play. Essentially, one time down, and they called one that was nothing, that fouled a guy out that was pretty fucking substantial. And on the other side, they don't foul.
How is he substantial? He's the 8th guy off the bench.
Because he's out of the game. He's not coming back.
He didn't start. And he's
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's out of the fucking game.
It's the exact rule God. The role he has.
I'm sorry. Go drive a LeBaron off a fucking cliff.
That's not my fault.
Drive a LeBaron off a fucking cliff. You are a fucking maniac. How is it substantial?
Minutes today and got 5 fouls.
Hold on.
5 fouls.
Shut the
college
fuck
basketball
up. There's 4 minutes left. There's 4 minutes left, and they get 2 free throws. That's not substantial.
Today. I'm not talking about the time left in the game.
Get the hell out of here. Get out of here, dude.
Noah.
Get out of here.
Purdue made the run Purdue made the run when Adu and Awaka were both in foul trouble, and the freshman Estrella had to play.
That was in foul trouble the entire game. He was put on the floor
to
be physical with Edie.
He was in foul trouble the whole game. Oh, this is exactly what we're talking about. This is exactly what we're talking about.
He's told to play physical with Edie. That is his role. They played 4 guys, yeah,
you should be, dude.
4 guys, 6'11" or taller, that were put in the game to be physical with Edie. Offensively, it was all connect today. He had 40 fucking points. It's same with Edie. Edie had majority of Purdue's points too. But I mean, looking up and down this fucking
you're blind.
Score,
like you're blind. You're blind.
Adu 5 fouls, 6'11". 6'8", Toby Awaka, 5 fouls. 6'11", Estrella, 3 fouls. Cade Phillips played 4 minutes. He had a foul too.
I don't understand
the point. The bigs to go after Edie and play physical.
What is the point you're making? The point where you're helping our point. We're saying these fouls are called.
No, I'm saying
ridiculous.
That they are being instructed to go at Edie and foul him. That is what they're being told. They are a team that fouls above average compared to the rest of the league, compared to the rest of the country.
Buddy, I didn't. Okay, look, I know I had Tennessee today.
I know you
did. But I didn't bet Purdue games a lot this year.
I watched a lot of
and that's what I'm saying. So I like to think I was pretty fucking neutral. And this shit's been going on all fucking year, man.
Tom Izzo called it fucking out last week, man.
I disagree with it, but it is what it is. I disagree with it, but he's a 7'4" guy who is athletic and long. He has a reach and he's strong. If he puts out his arm and somebody gets knocked off balance, that is not Edie's
So what has changed from last year to this year?
Rebound.
What has changed from last year to this year then?
Nothing, in my opinion.
The calls are way what we can.
I don't think so at all. Yeah. I think they were just as bad as last year, and the only reason why people are freaking out, they were just as bad. People were freaking out against Fairleigh Dickinson.
No, they weren't.
They was going to get all the calls.
No, they weren't. No,
if you go back and listen to our show, Mac would probably make a joke that Edie's going to get all the calls. Mac's been poking this at me the last 2 entire seasons.
No, you're wild. You're wild. Anyway,
my whole thing. They're going to foul. I know they're going to foul Edie, Noah, but you cannot tell me that Purdue only committed 12 fouls the entire fucking game. You cannot tell me Zach Edey only committed 1 foul.
Why can't I? Purdue doesn't foul. They're a pretty disciplined group. They haven't fouled the entire game.
Come on, man.
That's the best. He's like, they're disciplined. They're disciplined.
They are.
Oh my god.
They
are. Come on, man.
All right, so I jokingly sent it in our group chat. Where's the foul on Ziegler pushing?
Oh, that should never be a foul. That should never be a fucking foul.
He goes out of his arm.
Oh my god, you're such a pussy. You're such a pussy, dude. You are such a pussy for you are such a pussy for thinking for bringing that point up. You are such a pussy.
So I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna handpick one scenario. One
Produce. I mean, what the fuck?
What?
Produce whatever. I don't care. Fall asleep behind the fucking scenes. All right. Look, to bring up that is to me the lowest bullshit of the whole entire fucking thing.
I thought it was a foul.
It's
unneeded
not
contact.
a foul.
For sure.
He's flopping. Are you?
The
fucking
guy is
kidding
running
me?
to his. He's running to the wing.
God.
Dude, you need a
Fucking
job in
got
politics. You need a job in politics, buddy.
I'm just saying, like, you guys want to point. You guys want to handpick any scenario from this game.
Dude, Mason Gillis fucking fouls and Kaufman foul every other possession. They never get called for anything. Oh,
No, that's not true.
Just want to quickly. So
I'm sure
two max point out of all the games that happened. Guess who got the lightest whistle?
Purdue.
Yep. Out of all the games that happened this weekend, Purdue, only 12 fouls called on Purdue. You had 20 on Clemson, 17 on Alabama. You had 17 on UConn, 15 on Illinois. You had Duke with 23 fouls. Now that makes sense. When they're down late, they're fouling. 16 on NC State. So by a little bit of substantial number there.
Four more fouls than Purdue. That's not a lot at all.
That's substantial, Noah. What we just went through all of them. What are you talking about?
How can you average
You're fucking delusional, dude. You are fucking delusional.
Went 10 deep today to throw 4 guys at Edey and foul him.
Buddy, you are so full of shit. I Nick. I mean,
I thoroughly enjoyed the game because that was the game plan.
You have Purdue. You have Purdue winning the national championship. You said it in the preseason.
Yeah,
you have a clear bias to me. You have a clear bias. So
yeah, and you guys have a clear bias against me, in my opinion.
Against you?
If
why do I give a fuck about
jumping in
you
on this podcast? It would just be you guys slandering Purdue, and then we'd move on.
I gave Purdue credit. I just think it's bullshit.
I mean by the referees. You guys would say that they get every call, and then you'd move on.
I'm pissed because I have defended Rick Barnes, and I thought Rick Barnes fucking got a fucking raw deal today, man. And he fucking did everything. He was a class act in the postgame. He did everything but say, we got fucking screwed in that second half whistle. Because, I mean, Barnes has had a lot of March heartache too, just like Painter. And I thought his team was good enough to get there this year.
You want to bring up post-game pressers? I mean, Edey literally said that Barnes had a shot. Recruited over him.
Oh, get the fuck
didn't
out of
offer
here,
him whatever.
Right.
So that's what he said. If you're gonna take Barnes' word, I mean, Edey just went out and said that. I mean, Barnes didn't want him.
Arguing with you
he was
is
like the 400th recruit. Anybody could have had him in the country.
Are you filming Edey and that chick going into that room tonight too? I mean, get
I'm sorry.
Out of here,
your arguments are fucking insane. Look, shout out to Purdue. Purdue is in the Final Four. I have no problem with that. I have zero hatred for fucking Purdue.
There's 3 programs that have never been there and then 1 blue blood. That's fun.
Yeah, but to me, it was lame the way it went down. It was lame the way it went down to me. But still, shout out to Purdue. You definitely were good enough to be in that game and win that fucking game. I'm not taking that away from you, but I do think it was bullshit. It was bullshit. That was 4 minutes left in the clip that I'm fucking showing you. And to get 2 free throws in that tight of a game at the 4 fucking minute mark or 4:20, whatever the fuck it was, is substantial no matter what you say.
And real quick, I think we all agree it was a physical game. We knew it was going to be. For one team not to be in the bonus either half, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And then the other team's in the double bonus for the half. Like, come on, that's bullshit.
So we have NC State and Purdue, like I said.
DJ Burns already in foul trouble.
He is already in foul trouble right now.
He's fucked.
Yeah, he's definitely fouling out. And I mean, that's hilarious that one of them are going to be in the national championship. We'll get to that tomorrow night show. We'll talk about the lines and stuff. We also have, make sure you do that NIT parlay, but we'll talk more about those games tomorrow. Alabama 89, Clemson 82.
Real quick, what's up? Read the chat real quick.
Which one?
Oh, I got you. Folks, want to tell you, You're listening to the College Basketball Experience. We are brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S. based and available in 40 different states. P2P social betting is a new and better way to bet. Bet directly against your friends or other users on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events with verifiable outcomes, plus a ton of fun social features that give it a feel of a betting social network, so to speak. Cut offers lower VIG and fully customizable odds. You can create your own bets, and Cut handles the payment side of things, so you never have to chase anyone down in the streets. So what are you doing? Hop on over there. Download the Cut app today in the App Store or at cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. Pick whether your favorite player will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's games for a chance to win big. You can win up to 100 times the amount of money you enter in a single night. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build your pick'em entry. The more players you add, the higher the odds go. Sign up today with the promo code TCESGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as the instant pick'em special. Cannabis Capper has been fucking killing it. Give him a follow on Twitter at Cannabis Capper. He's been writing these articles and really cashing in a bunch of money over there at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. So go check those articles, and I'm telling you, you're going to want to tail him. So folks, get on over to underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with the promo code TCESGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. All right. We are back. Clemson, Alabama. Shout out. Man, hang on.
Roll Tide, roll.
I need to shout
real
out.
Quick, shout out Pure Ruckus TV for the $3 tip. We appreciate it.
And definitely. Thank you, Pure Ruckus. Shout out to Lavelle, who definitely DM'd me with the ticket to go to Clemson, Alabama game. He did it a little late, but it's the thought that fucking counts. I was out to eat with my wife and son, or I would have been there. All right. But I was like, fuck, I got to drive back home. Then I got to, but this game was crazy because I really thought, the moment that Bama stole the first half, I thought Clemson played better the entire first half, but Alabama, with their firepower, which they can so often do, somehow got that 35-32 lead at the half. Thought that was substantial, man, because I thought Clemson played a lot better in the first half. Yeah. And to be down 3 when like from eye test, I thought you won the first half. I think that was a huge turning point in the game. And then obviously Alabama took care of business in the second half. Shout out to Nate Oats in Alabama. I am a skeptic still, but hey, you're in the Final Four. I'm a fucking idiot that talks into a microphone. You know what I mean? So I thought they had a great path. We touched on this in when the bracket dropped. I said it's a great fucking path and a great opportunity. Did I think they'd be in the Final Four? No. But I did have one bracket with them in the Elite Eight. It's a great run.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a great run. Your thoughts on Bama?
The year after the year strikes. Last year was all the hype. This year, nobody expected anything from them coming into the dance. I think you and I were about the only ones that were saying, hey, they got a favorable run, but everybody's like, oh, they lost 4 out of 6. They suck defensively. I'm making a mental note in the back of my mind for next year when we get to this. This is 2 years in a row now. It used to be a outside of the top 100 KenPom defense, can't get to the Final Four. This is back-to-back years. Miami, they couldn't defend all year. All of a sudden, they made every shot, and I guess they manipulated enough where they could guard enough to get there. Alabama, they were outside. They, I guess, got enough stops in a way when they needed to get stops. The Grand Canyon game.
You know why the numbers, and I know historically the numbers have meant so much. I am surprised that the numbers were that good on that stat of getting to the Final Four. But I think path is almost more important now than.
Agree.
It's always been a factor, but I almost feel like they got a great path, in my opinion. And they almost lost to Grand Canyon, who I don't think is that good.
They should have.
Yeah.
Just like Miami should have lost to Drake last year.
Yeah. Yeah. If anything, the Drake Miami one might be a little worse because they had like a fucking 8-point lead with. I know Grand Canyon had a lead with like the 5-minute mark or 6-minute mark, but
yeah,
dude, a great run. They've never been to the Final Four.
What a coaching job. I
Yeah.
mean, you think about it. Yes, he lost 8-9 players. He lost Brandon Miller, and I know that was a distraction at the end of the year. He lost all 3 of his fucking assistant coaches, too. One got the Arkansas State job. The other one got the Georgia Southern job. The other one got the Kennesaw job. So he's bringing in a whole new staff and 9 new players. You got to tip your cap to Nate Oats. I mean, this is a phenomenal job to get to the Final Four. And
what was better, that or the job he did to? I'm fucking around. I was gonna say to hide the murder weapon. But no, you're right. He deserves all the credit. He deserves all the credit in the world. And I was a skeptic on this very show. I said, like, I think he's overrated. I even said, like, I think Noah was talking about him coming to Michigan. I said, I wouldn't want him. Like, I mean, I'd want him to make the NCAA tournament and create buzz around your university, but I don't think he's a great tournament coach. And here he is in the Final Four. So I clearly look like a fucking idiot, and I'll own it. I look like path help though.
Yeah, I look like a fucking idiot too. Like, they signed him to a massive extension before this too. I thought he was just going to be fat and happy going into the NCAA tournament. They get bounced early, like most coaches with an extension do. But yeah, it was proving me wrong too.
Well, it was you know what? You know why it was a great path to me? If I can explain this just for a second. Charleston to me, I thought was a phony to get there personally. I didn't think they were that good in the regular season in the CAA. And I thought it was a horrible matchup. Charleston has 0 athleticism. And then Grand Canyon is kind of like Alabama, but a much worse version. They play kind of sloppily. There's no structure really. And then the Carolina game was the shocker to me. Clemson, they've already played in the regular season. So it's just a great setup. Like Carolina was the only one that I would say I was shocked that they won. But even with that, I'm not that shocked. But the other 3 were like completely gifts to me. And that's not saying Clemson didn't deserve to be there. Just the fact they played Clemson once this year, they could study that film. It's a nice get to me. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, like their style of play is obviously unique, and we agreed that it really doesn't work out in March. But I feel like this year they move the ball better. Last year, I felt like they were so ISO dependent on Brandon Miller. It was throw it to Brandon Miller and fucking NBA, go get a bucket, Brandon Miller. And I guess he had a groin injury at the end of the year. And obviously he had the murder case over their head and it became a distraction. But this year, I feel like with Sears and Estrada, it's more off dribble penetration, where I feel like it's more team oriented versus last year it was more about the star that was dealing with the murder case.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's a gigantic distraction.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that shit was being a fact. I mean, you had opposing teams, you had just crazy scenarios coming up. Like, but, yeah, I mean, shout out to Nate Oats. I mean, to me, like I said, like, I don't want to take away from making the Final Four. It's not, I'd be happy if I got that seeding is all I'm saying. Like, I think if you give a lot of teams that seeding, I think short of the Carolina game, so you basically had to win like one game that you really shouldn't have won. Hey, got it done. Shout out to you. I mean, like I said, and I'll argue with anyone on that. I think they stole that game from Carolina. I think Carolina was the better fucking team, and they stole that game from Carolina. But that happens in March. We've seen that shit a bunch of times. I could do an hour-long fucking podcast right now about games where they're stolen. Shit, Drake, Miami. We just talked about it. I feel like Drake was up 90% of that fucking game, and Miami came back and stole it, and they ended up in the Final Four. So maybe Alabama's this year's Miami. UConn, I cashed in on this. I fucking cashed.
I was looking good for a minute there. Oh my God.
I'm so glad, dude. I'm sorry. Like I don't really like UConn and Danny Hurley, but I just fucking kind of, you want to talk, see, no, this would be, if I was talking about Illinois, then I think you could say I am biased. Like Purdue, I don't actually have hatred for Purdue. Like Illinois' team did bother me this year. Like I just felt like they talked a ton of shit. Yeah. So to see them to get their ass whooped like this,
that was
even though I don't really like UConn and especially don't like Danny Hurley, this was fucking fun.
Shout out to
it was fun.
It was cool seeing Coleman Hawkins get.
Oh, it was fucking fun.
I will say, I was like, I mean, I know a lot of people were killing Underwood for the game plan of going at Klingon. I don't disagree with it to a certain degree. You got to go at the big guy a little bit, but how about a shot fake once, guys? He's blocked 7 in a row. How about show him? See if he gets up in the air and then pitch it. These guys are just going right at him. I'm like, that fucking shot fake. What is it? Fucking good. They need to go to Bob Knight fucking old school, baby. Shot fake, pass fake. I mean, come on, man.
Let me key on a couple things. You know, a lot of people, I like to call them snorkelers. My good friend Patty C, to me, can snorkel, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes he says college basketball's regular season does not matter, and I completely disagree. Now, yes, you can use the example of NC State, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the fact they're in Boston was so fucking huge, man. The momentum of that crowd, that 30-0 run, that would have never happened if this shit was in Louisiana or Seattle. That's what I'm saying. It's so huge to get that. It's so fucking huge to get that. Now they still would have won the game if that was in Seattle, but they wouldn't have gone on a 30-0 run. That place was electric. And that's why the regular season does matter so much to me. And to use the NC State point, you could say, well, the regular season didn't matter too much to NC State. Fair, but they had to win out. And to Greg Sankey, I would say you don't need your 96 team tournament because this is a perfect example. The next time, you know, he did that interview like opening week of March Madness where he said, I look at UCLA in 2021 or 2021 when they had no fans, but he didn't mention the no fans, that they went to the Final Four and they were in the play-in round, right? And he used that to why we should expand. He also used Ole Miss baseball. He didn't mention that VCU, a mid-major, had gone all the way to the Final Four as a play-in game, conveniently, in my opinion. But also, I would say this is why you don't need to. NC State's a perfect example. They are a banked-in toilet bowl 3, which they needed Virginia to miss 2 free throws prior to that. Then they had to bank in the 3 at the buzzer to get it to overtime and then win it in overtime and win their whole conference tournament. And here they are in the Final Four. This is a perfect example of why we have we do have like a 100 or 200 team. I don't even know because what conferences aren't allowed. The Ivy cuts off. There's a few conferences that cut off the teams. The MAC also cuts off, but you basically have like a 300 team tournament starting conference championship week.
Yes.
So don't fall for his bullshit, folks. All right. He deserves to be tweeted all the hatred he gets. How about UConn though, man? Fucking unbelievable.
It's incredible. Well, dude, I mean, ask Purdue how much that crowd fucking helped them today. In being in Detroit, like no.
That's what I'm saying. The regular season does matter. It does.
I had somebody tweet at me and I know everybody loves to flex their conference in March Madness, which arguably is probably one of the worst things to measure how good your conference is. March Madness success. It's a fucking 1-game tournament where crazy shit like NC State going to the Final Four, FAU going to the Final Four, George Mason, VCU, but if the games from November 6th to March don't matter, then why the hell do we play them? And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna die on this hill too. The Mountain West. I'm gonna go back to the Mountain West because I know the Mountain West. Everybody says that they suck. They keep getting enough teams in good position. They're going to break through. They're going to have a magical March, just like the ACC, for example, is having right now. Look at Purdue. How many times has it taken them to get through the fucking?
I completely agree with the Mountain West one, and I'll argue with Chad G all day on this. I thought they got misseeded. Now, and I completely agree that the regular season shouldn't matter for stuff, but also I'll say though that it does mean something to me. Like NC State's magical run. Yes, did they catch lightning in a bottle? But I think you could say that about a million teams in any playoff, not even college basketball. But also, to me, that's part of it, though, is you're working out the kinks in the regular season. Now, obviously, those games all matter, and that's why NC State wouldn't have made the tournament had they lost to Virginia. But also, you should be playing the best ball towards the end of your season. You know what I mean? That's what you're striving for. You're striving to be able to do that. So I think there's value in both. I think both things can be right. The regular season matters. Look at UConn, look at Purdue with those home crowds. But I also believe that in NC State's case or whatever, or in the ACCs, man, I think they've proven that they're a better conference than what we valued it as.
The ACC?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading the chat. Yeah, they're having a great March, but at the same time, I think I thought we said they were top heavy the whole year. We said 3 bids.
But dude, I didn't see Clemson and NC State doing this.
No, but we said 3 bids and NC State was the 4th, and we said Virginia probably shouldn't have been in the field. To be honest, I think we were pretty accurate. We said Carolina, Duke, Clemson. We didn't see the NC State fucking miracle run come.
I didn't think. Well, I thought Clemson got overseeded too. They proved that they're a good team to me. But dude, I agree with a lot of what you say regarding this. I really do. But I also think we have to just fucking. It's like CJ Sullivan. We have to submit and say,
yeah. I submitted to the back. The back.
Yeah, I'm just inevitable. Like, dude, they look incredibly good. That ain't a fluke. It ain't a fluke. They're good. They're playing really good.
Now, I'll bet any amount of money they did not go to the NCAA tournament next year. We are going to bet the fuck against them because all their lines are going to be inflated. All these teams that fucking overachieve always fall on their face the next year. But this is a unbelievable run for NC State.
And I truly believe, man, if you had shifted the ACC tag, if that was the Pac-12, which actually played pretty well in the NCAA tournament, we would sit there and say, maybe we undervalued them. You know what I mean? Maybe we undervalued them because they're better than what we thought. And there is something to winning these games in March when you know it's a big time game. Now both can be right. The regular season matters. It matters. To me, you don't know college basketball if you think the regular season in college basketball is nothing. And I laugh at the people that are NBA fans that say we should do a 50-game season or 60-game season because then every game would be important. Well, college basketball is a 30-game season. So, every game's even more important. I don't know. Noah, what's up, buddy?
So on Torvik, sometimes messing around with this tool can be very, very fun. I've sorted data to only accept games that begin from NC State's run. They've won 9 games in a row from March 12th to March 31st. Where do they rank in the country analytically?
That's
25th.
Tell me they're first. They're not. UConn's number 1. They gotta be. They're top 10. Tell me they're top 10.
They have gotten a shitload of 3-point luck. We can be honest on that too. I mean, everybody forgets how to shoot against them. It's unreal. Like in the Duke, the ironic thing is all the Duke fans are like, nobody forgot how to shoot threes against him. And then all of a sudden today they couldn't throw it in the ocean. Wide open, air ball.
Dude, I'm going to forever remember that Oakland fucking took this team to overtime.
Yeah,
Oakland could be here right now. They really could.
I know.
They've got pretty much the same formula as NC State.
Man, that fucking play that I don't think went out on Oakland. I don't think it went out on Oakland. I don't understand, but I don't know. We could talk.
So NC State's currently 13th in the country. If you sort that, since the beginning of their run, they're 9-0. Their defense ranks 25th, or offense ranks 25th. Defense 41st. So
everybody forgets how to shoot against him. It's what did Duke finish from 3 today? What did they finish from 3? Marquette was 4 for 32. Fucking Texas Tech was like
5 for 20.
Fucking 5 for 20. It's fucking unreal.
Hold on, I can tell you this right now. Hang on. I got you this. Well, Texas Tech, I feel like they always fucking suck at threes, but they were 7 of 31. Texas Tech was. Carolina, or no, wait. Oakland. I think Oakland actually shot out right though. Not actually, no. I mean, Oakland was 12 of 35, 34%.
Ironically, went to overtime. Yep.
And then
Marquette was a joke.
Obviously, we know Marquette's was fucking horrible. That was like the worst of the tournament. Marquette was 4 of 31. Yeah, I mean they have had, and if I wonder if we go back to the ACC run, Carolina was 8 of 30.
Everybody forgets
in the
NC
ACC
gets
championship for Virginia, but Virginia can never shoot. Virginia was 9 of 28, 32%.
It's actually kind of good for Virginia.
Yeah, and then Duke in the first matchup was 5 of 20. Maybe they just started defending the fucking three.
Or maybe DJ Burns is distracting him down there with his big
Syracuse was 6 of 19. In Louisville
shut the shit out of it.
They're the best. 7 of 19.
Yeah, that's why Louisville has got him.
37%. Oh man. So what a weekend. Those games are all awesome. I don't care what anyone fucking
NC
says.
State only shot 13 threes today. They chose to go right at the pussy pack leader.
Colby, I think we need to talk about the loser in this matchup. I think we're letting them off the hook if we don't fucking bash them a little bit.
Are we talking about Illinois here, or are we talking about what?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I guess we're back to NC State.
Oh,
Duke.
Oh, yeah.
Duke. I mean, they've been fucking loud all fucking season. They've been loud all March. They've been loud all fucking Friday night when they got a gift from the gods when Shed went down. This is a fucking missed opportunity.
It is.
This is a golden path,
especially the second time, third time you play them, but second time, like you lost to them just recently, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. So you get a chance to, see what you did wrong, be able to attack what you did wrong. I always think there's an edge when you lose the game recently and you get to play them again. Mm-hmm. Well, clearly that wasn't the case. Duke and NC Nick did a great tweet. Actually, let me pull that up because I thought that was a very good tweet by him. And I think it speaks to what is NC Nick was not high. Like he has addressed on this very show. He said that, I don't know what Scheyer said he was going to use the portal more. All he brought in was Ryan Young. And they haven't really brought in the experience. NC Nick has a tweet right now that says those sophomores, right? And he highlights Mitchell, Filipowski, and Proctor. Yeah. Together, they shot, as for a collective, they shot 5 of 23. Proctor was 0 of 8. Filipowski was 3 of 12. Mitchell was 2 of 3. I think he's got a good point, man. And I think this is something John Calipari suffers from. You can bring in these awesome recruiting classes, but now that the game has shifted, it makes it very hard. Like the game has shifted. As my point is, like, you can go out, look at Alabama. I mean, look at all the teams really that were left today. We did a show, what was it, 2 nights ago, and we were talking about how Purdue went out and they don't use the portal a ton, but they brought in some key pieces. Then
one.
Yeah. Well, didn't they bring in a bench guy too? I thought they brought in a bench guy.
I don't know. They don't really use the bench too much. Lance Jones from Southern Illinois, but I mean that team's kind of young too. So,
well, I mean, you could just go one by one, and like the teams left have pivotal transfers like that. I mean, whether it's Cam Spencer or Tristan Newton, whether it's you go one by one on all these teams. DJ Burns, obviously the best players in college basketball right now. Dalton Connect, have all been transfers for the most part. Edey would be the only one that wouldn't be. And Duke kind of dropped the ball there. And I think it's the day and age you had to find that blend, but to only bring in Ryan Young from Northwestern, they brought in a Harvard guy too on the bench, I think. But either way, they haven't taken advantage of it. And I think that shows why they haven't really. I don't want to talk too much shit. Why they haven't advanced to the Final Four? Weren't they in the Final Four like 3 years ago?
What, Duke? Coach K's last year.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So we did the show Friday night right after the game. It was like an instant reaction. And after the show, I went back and I was like, I want to see what Kelvin Sampson. So I threw on the post game. I want to see what Sampson and Shed had to say because of how shitty the ending was. And Sampson was obviously fucking pissed off and disappointed. And then it popped up, hey, Jon Scheyer's press. So I watched Jon Scheyer's press conference. And the vibe I got was that they kind of they were pounding their chest a little bit. Hey, these were 4 freshmen last year. Everybody called us soft, blah, blah, blah. They were kind of doing a victory lap after they beat Houston. I know Houston was the 1 seed and Shed goes down. I think that they completely overlooked NC State. I think that they thought they were going to walk in there today. Oh, we've played NC State. They got lucky against us last time. I thought Duke was extremely cocky, and I thought Shirer's game plan sucked ass. I thought he made no adjustments. He didn't double Burns at all. Scheyer looked like a second-year head coach today.
Yeah,
and
team leaders said NC State has a lot of experience. Those are all transfers. That's what my point.
Yeah.
Morsel from Virginia, Horn, ASU. You know what I mean? Like you had all these. The whole fucking team is really transfers. You don't have a lot of players that weren't, just that subscribed to NC State from the beginning, that committed there and stayed the course. But that's what I'm saying is like you see the Kentuckys and the Dukes suffer. Now I know, like I said, Duke's been to a Final Four recently, so I don't want to shit on them too much, but I do think that is a factor. Yeah, I do think that's a factor. I think it really is a factor that they need to pay attention to if they want to get there and get back to where they should be. What's up, Noah?
Nothing. I wanted to pop in here because I'm going to find something on Twitter real quick.
All right, find that on Twitter. I'm going to tell you folks out there, the college basketball experience is brought to you by Manscaped. Look, folks, shave your balls. All right. This year, don't just chase rainbows. Make your own pot of gold and groom your little leprechaun with the leaders and below the kilt care. Say goodbye to that clover forest you got with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and let your confidence shine bright. Embrace the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. All right, head over to manscaped.com. Use that promo code SGPN for 20% off plus free shipping. And I can honestly say ever since I got 4 of them, I got one right here. Look at this, youtube.com/the college experience. This shit's been a difference maker. All right. It's fucking got LED spotlights. Come on. Just in case the power goes out. Maybe you're a little late on the fucking rent. You put all your money on, who? North Carolina to win the national championship. Now you can't pay for the electricity. Don't worry. As long as you plugged in your Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra before they cut the power, let that light shine bright. All right. They got dual LED spotlights and it's waterproof. All right. So in case you they cut off the water too. Get yourself outside when it starts raining. You can shave your balls fine. All right. Or whatever. You know what I mean? Shave whatever you want. So what are you doing? Get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code SGP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off free shipping with the promo code. I'm sorry, 20% off and free shipping with the promo code SGP at manscaped.com. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame Bets, a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN. You get 50% off your first month. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. I mean, Noah, how the fuck did we lose that Quinnipiac bet? Oh my fucking God, man.
I didn't have Quinnipiac. So
they had did you watch that game?
Yes, I had
that. They had that one. They had the game one.
Yeah.
Frozen 4. Check out the Frozen 4 podcast. Me and B did.
BC luck boxed their way to a Frozen 4 appearance. I had a perfect reverse jinx for Michigan to beat Michigan State today. That was fun.
That's got to be fun.
Yeah,
that's better. I mean, that's better than your Purdue play.
Yeah.
You get the top
Michigan
shit.
State the best team, best year in the last 2 decades, and Michigan was able to end it. And we were 1-4 against them in the regular season. Here's what I was looking for. This is fun. This graphic is each Elite 8 team and each starter, their destination prior to their team.
Oh, this is cool. This is a cool tweet. Damn, Tennessee not using the portal that much, but they brought in Connect, their best fucking player.
They do a good job of maintaining them and Purdue both.
Wait, so who is the third team? You got Tennessee, Purdue. Who's that third team? Oh, it's got to be NC State, right? It's NC State. Virginia. Who's that logo? Is that Ball State or is that Illinois State?
That's Illinois State.
Okay.
Illinois State, Stanford, Winthrop, Burns.
Missouri. Wow. And then Duke. That's a great point, man. Dude, you got to send me that tweet. Alabama's everybody.
Who had the ECU guy?
Tristan Newton, you
That's Tristan
motherfucker.
Newton.
You
That's
motherfucker.
Yeah, so shout out to
Whatever the fuck it
NCAA
is.
buzzer beaters.
Send me that. Can you
on
send me that,
Twitter.
buddy? Send me that. I'm going to
Yep.
text
I can.
argument. You know, I'm arguing. Folks, when I'm not recording, I'm arguing in a bunch of text. Be out to dinner with my wife. She's like, can you put the fucking phone down? Honey, I'm arguing about who the fuck transferred where. All right. That's what happens. Folks, I don't know what else to talk about. Tomorrow we're going to talk about all these games. I mean, do you want to? What game are you more excited to watch? NC State. I'm sorry. Yeah, NC State, Purdue, or Alabama, UConn.
About the same. I mean, I know everybody's got their freaking money line parlay circled. UConn and Purdue, it's inevitable, just like North Carolina and Arizona was. I think we're gonna have one upset. I'm trying to decide which one I'm gonna be on. It feels like we're not gonna have the chalk that everybody wants again.
Either way, it's awesome. College basketball is incredible.
Who do you think has a better chance of winning right now? I kind of lean to Bama.
Dude, no one is beating UConn. Get the fuck out of here.
I tell you, everybody keeps fucking counting out Alabama.
Dude,
they keep
you're
fucking
fucking insane. UConn.
You said I was insane for taking them against Carolina.
But you also took Illinois, and you didn't learn from that.
Hey, they ain't gonna cover every game.
The game before that, you sprinkled fairy dust on me for fucking taking Northwestern. I'll blame you for that shit. All right.
Northwestern fucking didn't cover by 1 point or 2 points. They should have fucking covered on the back door.
I mean, dude, UConn looks like the fucking greatest team that's ever existed.
So did UNLV in the 90s, and then they got to the back-to-back Final Four. They boat raced everybody, and then if you.
But let me tell you, Alabama shit ain't gonna. They don't go half court. Like if you go watch, I know I'm very familiar with that Duke UNLV game.
In a game.
Hey, I will say that
don't play smart enough.
I will say that the Bama UNC game is interesting because Oats and the Hurleys get along, and we haven't seen like the 3-and-D style against UConn yet. I don't think so. Like UConn's beaten a one-man Northwestern team. They defeated San Diego State, who's just a grind you out defense. They beat Illinois, who's booty ball number 1 or number 2 offense at the time against UConn. Now we get a 3-and-D. I mean, there ain't nothing much better than you having to go throughout the entire tournament and play different matchup, and possibly the championship game is a bunch of ball screens with a really good point guard in Braden Smith and the best big man in the country in Zach Edey. Every game they'd be playing a different matchup. It's pretty cool. I will say Florida, they're the last back-to-back national champion. It can't happen again.
I want to see them in it. I want to see how they respond in a close game. I refuse to think that they're just going to cover every game again.
I agree with Mac. Give me that Purdue UConn.
Never happened.
I actually think you got something. I think you got. I don't think it's Bama. I think it's Purdue that could actually give them a challenge because there's the style of ball that they play. See, I think Bama actually. I think it's a horrible matchup for Bama.
I'm just saying,
it's a horrible matchup for Bama. Yeah,
I like the styles that UConn would have to play to win.
Fair. And I guess there is something to the Oats early thing.
If it's NC State, it's kind of a little bit like Purdue. They have a facilitating big man in DJ Burns, which can make it fun and interesting. But
man, folks, we got a lot to talk about tomorrow night. NC Nick
currently the opening lines. I'll just state it before we get out of here. Purdue's laying 9 against NC State. UConn's up to 11.5 right now. That thing opened at 10, I think.
Let's go.
I mean, I think we'll talk about it tomorrow. NC Nick's going to be on the show. Moneyline Mag, Noah Beanick, myself tomorrow night. So hit that subscribe, that like button, youtube.com/the college experience. Today was awesome. Yesterday was awesome.
Final 4 games tomorrow and NIT Final 4.
Oh, the NIT one. You better get over there and parlay that shit now. There's gold out there in them there hills. Also, I mean, first give Noah Beanick a follow on Twitter at NoahB77_. Moneyline Max on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. Check out the Big 12 college experience. Also check out Noah's college baseball experience. Fantastic shit. And that Frozen 4 podcast. Also check out the Ryan and Rush show that Mac does. And tomorrow we're going to have a UFL.
Hail to the victors for the $2 tip.
Yes. Thank you. Hail to the victors. Tomorrow Tomorrow we're going to UFL gambling podcast reaction show where I'm going to drop a few nuggets. We also got the Bet Detective coming through, and obviously tomorrow night's show. And then check out on Tuesday Sports Gambling Podcast. We're gonna have a nice little guest on, talk about March Madness and everything. So stick around, all right? And yeah, we're grateful for everything. Until next time, folks. This is the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Yeah. I know I'm out of my mind. I've lost my mind. I'm just ahead of my time. I know I'm out of my mind. Rockin' at first was hell without rocker. I pop up in spots, they screaming, you clockwork. I'm dilated, the fuck off, I ain't doing it. Before weathermen dropped, they thought I might have ruined it. Elusive, I just deny rumors. Smile and give punchlines with dry humor. See what the future brings. In 03, I got on MTV. Time is bug, that's the message I'm sending them. Sign with Slug and survive beef with Eminem. I mention different events in my sentences. It's dangerous to reminisce or remember it. Still it's evidence, check 1, 2, 1, 2. Less punches and spit what I've been through. I stayed here, got booed, but kept rapping. The same year got sued by Kurt Knappman. I'm just ahead of my time. I know I'm out of my mind.